What's up, everybody? It is the AEC, known as Anything Everything Cornhole podcast. This is episode 11, and we got our special guest, Paul Jr. from the Purdue Baggers. As I said before, we're going to be having special guests hopefully every week to come. So we'll just see how that goes. If you guys are interested in that, also hit the comments and let me know, and I'll go through and we'll try to get something worked out there. But as always, we do have Paul Jr. here, and this is episode 11. And before we get started in anything, we got to plug in the sponsor, and that is Brotherhood Cornhole. So make sure you guys do go get yourself some bags, merch, boards, you name it. Use code Nyberg10. That's going to get you guys a little discount in there, as well as making me look good with the sponsor. But Brotherhood Cornhole is huge right now. It is growing all over the place. If you are into cornhole, you probably have seen it. You've seen the design, you've seen the logo, and if you watch anything on the ACL, they've been sponsoring a lot of the tournaments there. So amazing stuff. They're a tier 1 bag company now, so they compete with all the big boys. And just make sure you guys go get yourself that stuff today and start throwing like the pros. Anyways, back to this. We got Paul Jr. from Purdue Baggers.
What's happening?
How you doing, brother? It's good to see you, man.
It's good. I'm still resting from that little scorching tournament we played in on Saturday.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm still dehydrated.
Bro, every drink I get, I've been chugging, dude.
And it's Tuesday, so that tournament was an all-day slugfest of freaking bags and over 100 degrees. So It definitely took a toll on me.
You think when everybody's excited about, summertime and, getting out there. I mean, it's nice, but kind of where we live, Southern California, it gets a little hot. And especially where I'm at, high desert wise, it's very hot. It's very uncomfortable. So, yeah.
Hot and windy where you're at.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't throw outside. It doesn't happen. If it does, it's either super early in the morning or, I just make it happen in the house. That's how I get my practice. So if anybody was wondering how I throw to get all my practice in, it's at home on one board. I do not throw back and forth. I literally just throw one board and I get all my reps that way. But at least it keeps me in the cool, and it keeps me out of that scorching heat, so I'm not getting sunburned. So this skin is too pasty. Anyways, all right. So we got some questions here, and I'm sure everybody wants to hear this stuff. If they haven't already, or if they have already, who cares? Because we're making it happen here. But not everybody out there knows. How long, man, have you been into cornhole, or how did you hear about it? And how long have you been playing?
Yeah, I think everyone has played backyard or played at someone's house, with a little replica, little ESPN bags, little floppy boards. I think that's where me and my dad and, my family started. But my first official tournament was at Backyard Baggers in Redlands at Hangar 24. Obviously I started in social. And I recently just looked at the game that I played, my very first game, and it was against Baghdad and Acid Burn. So it's crazy that, 2 years ago, that those were the two players that I started against, and they still play with us, every week. So it's pretty crazy and pretty cool to see. But yeah, started at Backyard Baggers, and then at the time I lived in Temecula, so I played with Make It Hurt Cornhole that they used to run in on Wednesday nights at the California distillery. So that place was fun. That's where I got started. Got to meet a lot of the local players out in that area, and that's where I actually met Caesar and Brent, both bag companies from that area. They both played in the area, so I got to, get to know them early on while I played, and obviously bought bags from both of them. So I was like, oh, yeah, I like both of your bags, and you guys are both nice guys, so I get to play with both of you guys. So it was pretty dope.
Awesome.
And then when we moved again, I switched clubs, and I think a lot of the players that played with us were, and probably still are, sandbaggers at one time. Sandbaggers started up, and we, me and my family, we started playing with them a lot more on Friday nights, Thursday nights, whenever they would run. We started with them, and kind of just went from there, and it's playing almost every day now.
Right. Awesome, man. Awesome. Now, question. When you said you played against Baghdad and Acidburn, did you win that game?
I don't think so. No, I think they destroyed me. Yeah, that first tournament, they did it to where not everyone made playoffs. So and it was total points. So we scored very little points that game. Baghdad, even back then, he was still freaking really good in social. And then Des, she should never have ever been a social player. Like, she always has been solid. So I'm pretty sure that she destroyed, and they made playoffs. So that place was very competitive, even in social.
Right. Yeah, man. I mean, hey, when I first started too, my first ever opponent I ever had, welcome to Cornhole, was T Money. If you guys know him, Travis Clark, an absolute monster. And that ended very fast. I mean, I was on the board. I averaged a 3, and he killed me out in like a couple rounds, and he shot heat. So, but the thing about that is not, I wasn't like mentally destroyed from that, even though I got beat pretty quick. I was excited because I was like, oh man, this is how this game's gonna be. Because I was used to backyard stuff, everybody threw the same, people were just bunching the bag up in their hand and tossing it like a baseball, and as soon as I saw that how it was played out, I was hooked instantly. So it was cool, yeah. But and I was looking at all the first people I played against. I was like, man, like I've become really cool with these guys, over time. And it was like, just learning their names at that time. So yeah, that's really awesome, man.
Yeah, when I was looking back at it, I saw like a couple people that I played like in tournaments after that. I'm like, man, I didn't know who you were then, but now I know you guys pretty well. So it's crazy, over time how, this game has grown people on you. And that's how, friendships are just friendships are made.
Right. Absolutely. What made you, man, want to get your own, because you guys got Birdie Baggers, and it's a very popular club out of Redlands. And, a lot of people are they're trekking in, and you got a lot of people in social and competitive, and you got a lot of the guys from competitive now that are moving up to advanced. What made you actually want to get your own club going?
Man, me and my dad, we had zero intention on doing what we're doing now. Like, just first and foremost, we had zero intention on doing this. We were just players, and we just enjoyed the game. But as a lot of people, like, we fell in love with it. The game we fell in love with cornhole, and we were at a local tournament in Redlands. Won't disclose the name of the club, but the guy that was running the club made a couple comments that kind of rubbed myself and my dad a little bit, the wrong way. It wasn't directed towards us, but it was directed towards someone that was with us. And he announced a couple times that night, if you guys don't like the way I'm running my tournaments, do it yourself. Right. And me and my dad looked at each other and said, okay, bet. So in less than 2 weeks, we were able to, get boards ordered, get tablet. No, actually, we didn't start with tablets. We had people start with phones, but we were able to get boards. We were able to get turf. I secured a venue within 2 days, and we started throwing tournaments at J. Riley's and Redlands. And, things that me and my dad talked about when we first started was, we wanted a place where people could come and, release stress. People working all day and they're probably stressed as hell, and this is a good way for them to come out, enjoy some beer, eat some food, and forget about their day-to-day stress and what they have to do and what they have to do tomorrow. And then another thing that we wanted to make sure that we did, which I think is why people are coming back, is 2 things. We're paying out. A lot of clubs, their payout structure is a little different than ours. We're paying out 75% across the board. A lot of clubs do, they'll pay the advanced players, the bigger payouts, bigger percent, less of a cut on their end, and then they'll take more of the social players, which is, ideally not how, we feel like that's how you should grow the sport. I feel like growing the sport is having everyone be equal and have them in their own divisions, and then them get paid as if they were an advanced player.
Right.
Obviously set restrictions so where if they hit a certain part like SPR, they have to move up to advanced. But initially that's what was one of the things that we were always going to stay true to. And I feel like since we started, we have. Like if you've came to a Purdue tournament, you've been paid. Like
Right.
from social to advanced, you've had a solid payout, regardless of how many people were there or not. The second thing that makes this a little unique and different is we do an airmail, and a lot of clubs do rollovers, and people will call 5 tickets or less, and that goes for the airmail. We pull a ticket till someone hits,
Right.
and most of the time lately, first ticket we pull has been hitting the box. So we pull multiple tickets afterwards so that more people could win, because the airmail is not our money. The airmail is the players' money. This is money that you guys have built up, and we just are the people distributing your guys' money to whoever hits the
Right.
pillbox.
Right.
That's how I see it. It's not my money. I don't get a dime from doing the airmail. Actually, the airmail delays my damn tournament. So sometimes
true.
we get out late because the airmail no one hits it. So that's the little things.
Yeah.
But no, but that's in a nutshell why we started, the principles and why I feel like we're doing so well right now. And then what we're going to be doing in the future.
Would you be like, when you say in the future, would you be planning on doing like any other like type of mini game things like people do knockout, like NonFiction runs a knockout? I think maybe people who haven't gotten over to a Monday tournament over there might want to be interested in that, because even with that, it's like $5 to play. But I mean, you got a massive amount of people. We'll talk later on that, because I do kind of have an idea of something that could make it a little bit more fair. Because there is players that wouldn't be able to keep up with a shooter like Emax or Mace, and stuff. Not saying they couldn't do it, but let's be real. Hey, these guys are.
I will say though, I remember Hayden beat.
He did. He beat Emax.
Who did he beat? He beat Emax the time that he won the knockout.
And he won it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's
anybody's game.
Knockout is it's good because anyone could win.
Right.
It's not like an airmail where you have to hit you got to hit it. Knockout is like if you make it in the hole and that person doesn't. Hey.
Well, you know what? Actually, I mean, it's really easy. I can tell you right now. My idea for it, because Chris does his knockout, and it's a lot of fun. Because everybody draws the number out of the hat. With the one, and it kind of made it, move a little quicker too. You have X amount of people per group, right? And then the winner of each group would then play each other in the final group. So if you had say you just had 4 groups, they would play theirs out, and winner from each one would then play in the final. So if there was just 4 players left, they would just keep going that way. And then, and then you could, at that point, you could pay out a first and a second too on that, instead of just the one guy.
Actually, that would be something dope to do at one of my big tournaments in Harupa.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
I feel like people would really enjoy that. And obviously they would still draw numbers, but let's say if there's 100 players and they all want to do it, we'll do it in groups of 25.
Right.
And 1 through 25, if you pick the number, you're in that group, this group.
Right.
And then instead of top 1, we'll do top 2. The last 2 of each division that are there, you guys go into the final one. And I like that idea. Whoa.
It'd be fun. Because there's always something, Yeah.
I think that would be something cool to roll out, one of our big ones for sure. So that the knockout payout is decent,
Right. Oh, dude. I mean, it's everybody will get involved. I mean, for the most part, people that are nah, whatever. But you should get quite a few people, and especially if you had it kind of oh yeah, there's a couple groups, and you don't know what group you're getting into. You're oh, I'm in group A or group B, and then you look at your group of players that are in there, and you're oh man, I just got to outshoot this guy, maybe, and it's kind of cool. So it makes it a little fun, makes an extra challenge in there. And hey, even if you happen to win that, you don't win the tournament, you won some money anyways, and you went home with some money in your pocket.
Fun fact about that. me and my dad just played at Laverne Brewing Company on Thursday a couple weeks ago, and he does the knockout. But he does it in between before he starts the playoffs. And my dad actually, bro, he was just knocking people out, and people were like, "Yo, like we thought we were safe with Big Paul being behind us," and he slowly started taking people out, and they were like, "Yo, Big Paul is an assassin, throwing fast side and just knocking people out." And then he got to the last one. It was him and another guy that no one expected, Jeff. He's a newer player that plays with Ginger and Q-Tip. He's like he runs with that group.
Yeah.
He's the older gentleman, and he actually knocked out. There were some good players. I think Sergio was there, AJ, RJ. They all were there, and they all got knocked out. So it was just my dad and the other dude. And bro, he outshot my dad. My dad shot it, hit the back. This guy went in and just took my dad out. I think the pot that day was like $120. So it was a solid payout, you know.
Yeah. I did get to do one in Vegas. That's kind of where I learned the group one, because they actually had one in Vegas. It was right before I was heading out to New Orleans. I ended up winning my group, and then I went into the next the finals against there was 4 groups, and we knocked out the other 2, and it came down to me and this guy, and the director was like, "Hey, are you guys watching this?" I swear, bro, me and him had probably thrown about 20 bags each. And finally I ended up kicking a little off, and it hung on the back, and he still went in. And I was like, bro, who is this guy?
Yeah.
But in the playoffs though, it was a different story, because I came out and I came to play, and I ended up winning. I won that night actually too. It was cool. So
yeah, that's dope, dude.
Yeah.
No, but I like the concept.
It'd be fun.
I'm definitely gonna run that concept for August 10th.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about August 10th later on, but
right.
August 10th, I feel like that's going to be the time you'll see it. Watch.
Yeah, and that actually brings us into our next topic. What do you got tournaments wise coming up?
Yeah. Well, since I already said August 10th. August 10th is our second annual Spurdy Summer Classic. We ran this tournament last year. It's 2 weeks before Spencer's. So this tournament will always be 2 weeks ahead of Spencer's. Just so that gives people kind of like a warm up to Spencer's. I encourage people that are going to be playing with their partners in Spencer's to partner up in this tournament, because this is an outdoor venue. It's just covered with turf. So it could be windy and not as windy as Spencer's, but it would be a good warm up for you and your partner to come out and see how you're going to, mesh together and throw together. This year's a little different though. I'm adding singles to it. So we have 4 divisions on singles. 5.5 PPR and lower is one division. 6.5 PPR and lower is one division. And then 7.5 and lower is another division. And then the last division is 7.5 and above get to play each other. Feel like if you're shooting above 7.5 to 8, you could shoot with anyone in any like Cornhole any given day. The top players in our area can be beat.
Right.
So I feel like each division should get a good amount of players in them. There's already actually a good amount of signups. I don't know if you checked it out yet. But
yeah, I was looking.
It's probably almost close to 60 players total in all 4 divisions that have already signed up. So that's pretty exciting, and a tournament that's coming up. Another one, which is actually on Saturday, that is with my partner, Escape Brewery. It's the Freedom Festival. So they do country little festival, a music festival at their downtown location. And we ran a tournament there last year, so this is our second one with them. And we run in a BYOP, and then I'm running a regular switch for like social players that don't really have partners to play with the BYOPs. So that one's going to be fun. It's this weekend. And then one that I haven't posted yet, and I'm kind of breaking some news right now. I'm being inducted into my high school's Hall of Fame.
Oh wow!
For their athletic Hall of Fame, and we want to run a San Gregorio High School Hall of Fame cornhole tournament at my high school. So we would run it on our football field, and I'm thinking of just doing a big switch all together. It would be $30 entry. $5 of every person's entry would go towards the school's athletics. And then the other $25 would go towards the tournament. So that's the format that I'm thinking of doing for the Hall of Fame tournament. Really haven't told anyone that I made the Hall of Fame. So
Congrats, man.
If you're watching this, yeah, kind of was a big thing back in high school, you know. So I'm being inducted into our Hall of Fame, and I'm excited to just host this cornhole tournament for my school and raise some money for them. Awesome. And then hopefully, you know, the cornhole community will support and you know, come out and have a good time with us.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. No one really knows, but I was a D1 football player at San Diego State. Got a full ride scholarship. You know, played football, blocked for a couple guys that are in the league right now. But you know, I had a good time. You know, like high school football was good. Got scholarship, played football, graduated with my degree in 3.5 years, and you know, it's part of my life where I love. You know, the best 4 years of my life. You know, I got to go to San Diego State, got to play football, graduated, and it was all free. So I like to tell people I'm a has-been.
Hey, man, that's more than a has-been, bro. I mean, that's you look back and you think about that, you're like, dude, I did stuff that, I mean, come on. Tuition to San Diego State is already insane. So there's a lot of people ain't even gonna go there. They're like, what's the San Diego Community College? That's where we're going. And we'll just look at it over there. You know, we'll have our cup of coffee and we'll stare at the school from the other side.
No, man, some of the like my best friends that I've met like in life were because I went to San Diego State. Yeah. So, you know, I might not see them as much as I usually would want, but those guys know who they are. You know, those are my brothers for life. And it's pretty dope. You know, that was the dope time of my life. And excited to always go back. I'm excited to go to games this year and take Clover and take my wife and be like, look, this was my dorm. You know, this is where we went to practice. Here's the burrito spot. Dude, there's a spot on campus called Tri Hills. They have a quesadilla burrito.
Yeah.
It's a California burrito, but it's wrapped with a taquito inside. Dude, that burrito is so big and it's so good. Like, if you went to San Diego State, you're watching this, you guys know what I'm talking about. Tri Hills is probably the best taco spot in San Diego.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah. Yes.
That sounds amazing.
I got to sidetrack it. We get back to...
No, you're good, man. You're good. That's actually cool because I would have never guessed. I mean, I could tell you played sports of some sort, and I was like, he's a big dude, and he probably played football. So...
Oh, you didn't know I played ball? Oh, no.
I didn't know you. See? I didn't know you were a football player. No, that's awesome. I mean, I coached football. Well, I did. So yeah. I mean, that's why we get along, man. You know, we're football advocates.
Like, this is a big Mexican dog. I hope he played football.
Yeah, I didn't get the luxury of actually getting to get out there and compete. Bad knees took over, you know. But my hand-eye coordination, I feel like if I didn't have bad knees, could have been pretty brutal. You know, I do specialize in hand-eye coordination sports. So, you know,
you definitely do.
So I just didn't get every piece to the puzzle, you know, and that's okay, you know, but my son has a lot of it, you know, so who knows with him, sky's the limit. But yeah. All right. So I
just opened up a fresh bag of Gregorys Jerky right now, cause I just got a little hungry.
Oh yeah.
The teriyaki chicken, the teriyaki one is really good.
Telling you, man. Shout out to Shad Ash, dude, on his brand.
Have you tried it yet?
No, I need to. I got to check it out.
Dude, so he has a spicy sweet spicy one, which is, I think that's the best one. But the teriyaki one is no slouch. That one's fire too.
Okay.
So if you guys don't know, Shad Ash, he's actually a cornhole player. He just started his own jerky company called Gregorys Jerky. And he's taken over and now he's starting to get into liquor stores. He just got into a gym yesterday. He got into Rodney's gym. Wow. Rodney Hickerson that plays with us at Purdue. He has his own gym.
Wow.
And he got into the gym to where after their workouts, people are buying jerky as they leave to fill their muscles.
Wow, man. Hey, well, huge shout out to Big Pop. If you guys didn't know, his name is Shad Ash, but he goes by Big Pop on Scoreholio. You can't miss him. He's as big as an ox. He's a big dude.
Yeah.
Just,
Super dope, dude. Super dope, dude.
Yeah, no, he's a
Super
great
down to
guy.
earth.
Great guy.
He'll sometimes throw a 12 on you, but then he'll most of the times throw a 6. So it's a good time.
Hey, honestly, he'd probably throw a lot more 12s if he didn't have his phone out in his hand and he was doing sports bets on the side. That's his biggest flaw, because I'm telling you, the guy could probably throw a lot more heat than he does, and I think he's just like out there to throw bags and hang out and then check his sports books, you know.
Checking his prize picks.
Exactly. Hey, but he makes the money. So
dude, he's hit on a couple like really good ones.
Yeah, he has.
And I'm like, wow, good for you, dog.
Yeah, he does. But he puts big money into him too. I'm a cheapskate, bro. I put $5 to $10 in, and WNBA is where it's at, where I've been getting paid out. So I haven't played in a minute, but that's where I was making my money. I was like, hey, them girls are paying me. So
all right. So before we go to the next one, you said WNBA. Who's rookie of the year for you?
Man, Sabrina Lonesky, man. Oh, she's not rookie though.
No, rookie.
Oh, rookie. I don't know. I don't know on that one. I couldn't say anything, but I think Sabrina could be MVP though. She's a dog.
It's a good. I think Sabrina too. MVP. I think Sabrina or Aisha.
Yeah.
From the AEC.
Yep.
I think either one of those two. Rookie of the year. Like, as much as like I love Caitlin Clark. Like, I love watching her game.
Yeah.
Angel Reese is balling.
Yeah.
She has gotten like 15 straight double doubles.
Yeah.
And I think if she continues getting double doubles the way she is, I think she gets rookie of the year over Caitlin Clark, which would cause a stir of commotion, because Caitlin Clark is obviously, she's the reason why in WNBA she's the reason why me and you are talking about it right now.
Right. No, that's true.
But I feel like Angel Reese though is balling.
Yeah.
And it's being overshadowed because Caitlin Clark is Caitlin Clark.
Yeah. Caitlin Clark's a dog though. She's good. She's good.
He got triple double the other day.
Yeah.
Did you bet on that?
No, I need to put some more bets out, but I haven't done anything, man. Work's got me tired. I mean, but low key though, I'll say this: I have always hit with Sabrina. I'm telling you,
wet.
It doesn't matter what you bet on her. You could bet on assists, rebounds, or points, and you could bet on first half, second half. It does not matter. She literally hits every time. It's crazy. Like, I feel like it's a cheat.
Is Brianna Stewart on that team too?
Yes.
Brianna Stewart.
Yeah, I think so. Good. Yeah, Brianna Stewart. Yeah. Yeah,
another
savage.
Her and Sabrina on the same team. That's scary.
Yeah, they're good. All right, but enough about WNBA. We talked about your upcoming tournaments, which are going to be awesome, and congrats again to the high school induction. That's awesome, brother.
Thank you, brother.
We're also looking forward to that tournament that you're going to be hosting. We got another question here. What clubs do you like to play at when you're not hosting a tournament? Because we all know Purdue is stacked and you play your own club. But, you know, there is a lot of other great clubs out there too that deserve some love there. And we'll start with you, and then I got a couple myself too. So.
Well, we'll go back and forth then, because I think we probably are going to say the same clubs anyways. So I play a lot. I think the formula me and my dad came to senses with is, you know, people aren't going to come play our tournaments if we don't go play theirs.
Right.
So we like to make appearances, and we actually love to play. So it's not like, oh man, we have to go play in order for someone to come play our tournament. But I try to play at least three times during the week, including my tournament. So 2 other tournaments, and then my dad plays 2 other tournaments where I'm not playing, so that, you know, there's a presence. So I kind of like Mondays, because Mondays is the beginning of the week, and I kind of like what's going on right now. So they're alternating Mondays right now, which I'm not sure if they did it on purpose or not, but NonFiction, I play up over there on Monday nights. I love playing there. The competition's cool. The vibes are awesome. Chris and Demon Slayer, you know, they run a good club over there, and you know, it's super competitive. If you win over there, you ball. And I think you could attest to that as well. If you win over there in their comp or in their events, you had a really good shooting night. So that's on Monday nights. And then the other Monday night club is a fairly new club, which is FAFO and LFT, which is Wally and 50, aka Joe. They started running on Mondays where Purdue runs at Escape Brewery, and I support my dogs. So whenever they run a tournament, I'm gonna always go and support. Love that they got into running to run tournaments and grow the game with us, and I like to say they're Purdue Bagger affiliate club because they were made out of our club.
Right.
So that's Monday night where I like to play, but I'll let you go where you like to play next.
Well, definitely both of those are right there because, I mean, literally one of my, I think, obviously HDB is not a thing anymore, but there is players that play out of HDB that do go and support the other spots. That's where my roots started because it was 2 minutes from my house. It was pretty cool. Yeah. Unfortunately, there's nothing up here anymore because the drive is terrible. But if we want to play, we got to go down there. But NonFiction was like my other one. I think that was like the first big tournament that I went to outside of that one, which, still local, but a lot more players. And like you said, a lot of competition. Chris and Demon Slayer, man, amazing people. Everybody there is super nice, supportive. You just have a lot of fun there. But yeah, it's those two spots because Wally and 50-50, man, you love these guys to death. They're just great guys to be around, real humble, and they're just there. They love cornhole, and that's why they're running what they run now. And, obviously the venue's popping because it sells out quick and it's got fat wait lists. So you got to get in quick before it is. But, you got places like Sandbaggers. I really like what they do there. Calam Mesa one, and then also the Saboba Springs golf course one, which, is a little bigger in there, which is good. So you can fit more boards. Calam Mesa one's a little more intimate.
Is the best venue.
Which one?
The Saboba golf course.
Right.
I feel like that is throughout all clubs. I think they have the best venue because it's cold and it's not like super tight to where you're crammed.
Right.
And I think they could fit 10 boards indoors.
Yeah.
Which is pretty dope. And that's why I'm like, yo, this is the dopest venue out of all clubs for sure.
Right. Another spot I actually enjoyed going to was 1906.
Dude, love it. Yeah.
Yeah. Do they still run their 1906s?
Yeah, they still run. I think right now he's taking a break because his kids are in sports. Okay. And then the venue, they usually block off days like Friday. This is when they throw. They'll block it off if they get someone like that renting out the tent.
Gotcha.
So whoever is gonna rent that spot out, they get first dibs over Cornhole. So, but 1906, that's another spot that is super dope. It's super competitive. He runs it a little differently as well. It's his own style. I think every club runs their own style, and I like it. It's cool there. Another
one on our list. I mean, because we can kind of agree on all these because we're local. M-Town Baggers, another awesome one. Love those guys there. You get a lot of competition there too. That was my first ever BYOP I ever played at, and I had Big Tank as my partner, and we got brutally smacked by Emax and Nate Long. I was just down the middle shooter at that time. And Nate Long was like, hey man, welcome to Cornhole. Let me show you, what we do here. And just kept me hooked once again. But that place is really cool. It's a little more intimate there. And then obviously we deal with humidity factors. So,
that place has it for sure.
Yeah. And the later on it gets in the night, boards ain't moving. I mean, the bags are not moving on those boards at all. And, it really starts bringing out what kind of player you are. So that's a cool spot.
James and Corey, they do a good job at, make sure the boards are well spaced. When they have bigger crowds, they run outside, and then they'll level the board so that they're pretty, they're level.
Right.
Also, they run there on Thursday nights too.
Yeah.
So the brewery actually runs on Thursday nights there, $10, 100% payout. So the owner of the brewery is Ken, super dope dude. We actually ran a couple of Fridays there, and he was happy to have us there to run there. But yeah, that's a cornhole staple right now. I think that spot has solidified as a dope cornhole spot, which is pretty dope.
It's a really cool spot, and they always got good food there. They got food that shows up there all the time, So
great food vendors. I always go hungry.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, hungry and I leave drunk. There's a problem there. I don't know what's wrong with that.
Well, I don't leave drunk, but I definitely leave with a full stomach, which is good. I do pound a lot of water though. So, and I make sure the Escape Brewery, I'm like, hey, they know I'm walking over to the bar. They're like, hey, water? I was like, yes, please. I'm dying back there. The only spot that is killing us in Escape is that back room, bro. That area, it's like your life is being sucked out of you in that back room, and you're like, I can't breathe,
Dude, I think your mom, like the last time she played,
she got stuck back there.
She played, well, Social was back there, so she was back there every game.
Yeah.
But literally in one game, she just looked so miserable, and I was like, yo, I feel so bad for you, but I'm sorry, this is where you got to play.
Yeah. It's rough back there. I'll say that. Even just walking back into the bathroom, you're like, whoa, heat wave.
I did put a fan back there, but the fan does nothing when the air that it's pushing is hot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think honestly, we just got to get through the summer, get it back into fall, let things cool down. I mean, obviously, hey, you know what? I mean, NonFiction has their little neck rags, you can put and cool yourself off, dude. I'll tell you that, I think you guys don't do them yet, do you? Or
yeah, you're letting secrets out. We did it for.
Hey, I didn't know. I just asked.
Yeah, no, we gave them out for our big tournament at Rupa.
Okay.
We gave them out to every player. That's something that we like to do as well for our big tournaments. We've given out stuff. So one tournament we gave out like the Purdue Bagger koozies for your beers.
Right.
We did it for the Modelo can, and then we did it for like a ultra can, so a skinny can, big can,
right.
And then one tournament we gave out like the little towels with our Purdue logo, and for August 10th we're giving out something as well.
Okay.
So if you're coming, just know we're bearing gifts, so come ready to receive.
Really cool. So you guys hear it now. If you guys make it out there, and it comes stacked. Players, I mean, show up, and I mean, even last time you had Northern Cal players come out, man. Because remember, my partner was Gio Mora. He
balled.
Yeah.
The first time I got to see him throw, and he throws me. He's nasty. He's so nasty. He does it in jeans.
Yeah.
Like he does it in skinny jeans. I'm like, yo, like this guy is disgusting, and he's just doing this shit in skinny jeans.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It is absolutely crazy because I'm like, bro, I can't, dude. I've gotten addicted now to shorts, like the short shorts. Like I throw in TWT shorts, a lot. So, but I mean, hey, dude, Tony Forbes was onto something with the higher rise shorts. So, you know what I mean? Hey, but I mean, you're comfortable. You move a little bit better. I don't know. I'm over there trying to pull up my pants like nonstop. Just uncomfortable, trying to adjust myself because it gets hot. And I don't want to do that. So,
yeah.
But
yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, come out August 10th. You'll get something free from us.
Awesome. So let's see. We have
the other club I wanted to see that I like to play at too, though.
Right.
Is Thursday nights in Riverside. Another Purdue Bagger affiliate club, Crooks.
Oh yeah, Crooks. Yeah, that's right.
They just recently started running tournaments, and my dad and Javi, which is the Crooks dad, they actually worked together at the city of Riverside. So
oh wow,
my dad invited them out one time to Purdue, and they got hooked like that.
Yeah,
and they were just like, yo, they start coming every week, and then they started podiuming them. They started getting on the podium, and I'm like, yo, you guys are actually decent.
Yeah.
Like, oh, and then they found a spot in Riverside to run, and they actually are running where I Suck at Cornhole used to run. At the, I want to say the VFW. I might be wrong. It might be something else. But those guys are super cool, laid back. If you haven't checked them out, those guys are dope, and they run on Thursday nights in Riverside. And it's crazy. I want to do one more. You could talk about it though.
Well, I'd say
you played there.
I would say
Crown City.
Yeah, Crown City's insane. Like, that's
they play on Thursday night this week too.
Yeah, they got a lot of players. They don't go as often as a lot of these other ones, but when they run theirs, expect either current pros or ex pros, top players will be showing up. It's battles every single time. That's a great spot. Literally, man, love David Brown, dude. Like, RJ, those guys are awesome. Nothing but love for everybody that runs all their clubs, because it takes a lot of work, man. It's definitely not an easy thing. Which actually, that was a question I did want to get into. Before we do that, honorable mentions to a couple other clubs. Sentiolto is another one. It's a little harder for us to get there because they are a little bit farther, but we do try to, make our way there. I've been there for like some regionals. And then even there was one, I don't know if they still run it or not, but I loved them. They were amazing people. They ran out of the Boondocks, Cornhole Zombies.
They're going to start running again. They're going to start running again.
Really cool people, man.
They had a tragic death in the family.
Oh man.
So that's why they stopped.
Yeah.
It's just Ryan, the guy that runs Cornhole Zombies, plays on Thursday nights for Crooks. So I see him whenever I play with Crooks, which is a lot. So he's in good spirits right now. But they are going to start running soon again. And probably not at Boondocks, but I know he said that they're redoing their backyard to where they could fit 3 to 4 boards on platforms. So it's going to be pretty dope setup.
Nice.
So
which makes it hard because Boondocks was a 21 and up spot. So you couldn't go, like I couldn't bring my son, or Emax couldn't go and play, Landon, a lot of good shooters and stuff can't go because they're under 21. So that was the only unfortunate side of that spot. I mean, it was a cool little spot, but I feel like they get a spot where they can bring the kids in and stuff too. It just makes it a little bit better. If we did miss out, just for time purposes, if we did miss out on any other clubs, we love you. Obviously we're going to...
I got 2 real quick.
Go ahead.
And you hate me for stopping you.
No, you're good. You're good.
So I got the Calam. They're out of the LA area as well.
Okay.
And Mamones. Those all those clubs are affiliates, and I think they all play together with Sentiolto as well.
Right.
They run tournaments on the weekends, so that's the time that we're able to go out there and play with them. We actually played a tournament with them a couple weeks ago, and super dope people to be around. If you like being around cool people and shooters that you haven't shot against, that they got some dogs over there.
Right.
JMO, you play with JMO, right?
Yeah. He's picked my brain a lot. He's asked me a lot of questions, on stuff. He's a really, really cool guy though, and I always love to give any insight I can. So. But he's a good shooter, man. He can definitely get hot.
JMO's he's good.
Yeah.
But bro, I think you should go to one of their tournaments out there. You would. A lot of people you probably haven't heard of, like their names. Like Boyle is, his bag is so flat and he has so much spin on his bag. I was like, yo, you're crazy. And then they have a guy out there, Corey Cliff. That dude he's an insane white boy. I tell you that. You get that guy talking, he'll tell you some stories.
Yeah,
trust me, that guy is crazy. I had those few people to name off over there, but cool dudes, honorable mentions. They run during the week, but I think the only time you would be able to find them is on the weekends.
Oh, okay. And then one more too, right before we get into our next spot here. But there was one coming up or something, like they're gonna start doing Thursdays at Calam Mesa, right? Am I right?
Oh yeah, no, they're gonna do Tuesdays.
Tuesdays, that's right, Tuesdays.
Insane Cornhole.
There you go.
And this is the 3rd club that has became a club outside of Cornhole, out of Birdie Baggers, which is pretty dope to see. I love it. But it's Insane Cornhole. It's Saggy and his group. They're gonna be running on Tuesday nights in Calam Mesa, where Sandbaggers runs on Friday. Gotcha. So it's pretty cool to see different spots being used multiple times a week.
That's really cool.
Like Escape's being used twice a week, and now Calam Mesa, the country club, I think they're being used. They're being used twice a week as well now. So shout out to them for expanding the game with us. Right.
Awesome. We love you guys. Every one of you. You guys are. I mean, we're gonna start with this. It is stressful to be a director, and that was my question leading up into that. How stressful is it running your own club? Like being a director, what entails, with it, and then like why is it stressful? Is it
Yeah. So it's kind of a lot of work, to be honest. I'll tell you that. If you're considering, starting your own club, I would say come be with me 3 hours before the tournament starts and see what goes into setting up a tournament and making sure that it's set up correctly. Thank God that it's Birdie Baggers is me, my dad, and my mom. And all three of us do three totally different things, but it all comes in to the end game where it's a successful tournament. My dad just retired, so that is the best thing that could have happened because I still work, and I have a full-time business that I'm trying to run. You feel me? So I don't have time to do a lot of things that he does. So what he does is he has the truck loaded. We never unload the truck. The truck is loaded with all our boards, all our tablets, everything we need. And he gets there, we unload the truck, we get the outside set up where the comp and social players usually play, and we get it set up to where the boards are fairly structured right. And then once I get him going and get my dad starting to get all the boards done, I go inside and I start rearranging the room where we play events.
Right.
And I think the only stress is make sure that it's all set up before any players show up, because once players start showing up and they start warming up, it kind of I feel like it's a half-ass setup at that point, because then I'm kind of like waiting on them to put the pucks on and everything. So I like to be set up before anyone shows up. Sometimes we got early birds. Shout out Bob. That guy he's there at least an hour and a half, 2 hours before the tournament even starts.
Right.
And he does it because he tries to beat traffic. And I think you've gotten there a couple times super early as well, because you're trying to beat traffic too.
When I either drive with my brother, because I tell him to get his butt in gear, let's go.
Yeah.
Or if I drive myself, then I'm there super early. If I drive my mom and
Oh, you get there.
we're not, man. We're getting there, and I message you, hey man, we're signed up, man. Don't start, or start it, but don't kick us out, because we're on our way down. And traffic just getting to you is tough sometimes because the Cajon Pass is terrible, and we deal with a lot of people just driving stupid on the road and accidents like crazy, and they get backed up. And right now we're dealing with fires that are pretty rough, over here. So like our whole sky out here is orange. I'm kind of like waiting around to hear whether or not they're gonna tell us, hey, you can't go to work because you got to stay indoors. Like it's pretty rough right now. There's like 0% containment right now with that
fire season. I hate fire season.
Yeah, it's rough. So yeah. So the stress though, getting everything set up now.
Yeah.
What about
getting set up, and then kind of like the next stress is getting people checked in.
Okay.
That is the next part that goes through my mind once it's set up, is getting people checked in, because if you run tournaments, what I'm going to say next. It could be hard if you have multiple divisions. You have to switch pages, and it's easier when you know the player's Cornhole name.
Right.
So for instance, I try to have my wife, she started getting more involved, do the check-ins, and then even have my mom try to do it. But it's harder when they don't know the players' names on Cornhole. I know probably 90% of my players that play with us, their Cornhole names, so it's easy for me to find them and click them in. But when someone else tries to do it that doesn't know their names, it takes a little longer, which could add stress.
Right.
But once that part is done and you press start tournament, the only stress I have is if someone inputs the wrong scores.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah. Which is an easy fix. But it does take time, because you have to go through on the admin on my phone and just update the scores on Score Magic, and then go from there.
Yeah.
And then, like I told you earlier, we have different roles. So my mom, she handles all the money. So I call her CFO. So from airmail to payouts to 50-50, she handles it all. And I send her the numbers for payouts, and then she'll calculate how much the airmail is, and she'll tell me what the per bag money is. And then when someone hits it, they go to her and get paid.
Gotcha.
So she handles all financials. And then at the end of it all, we look at each other and like, damn, another tournament in the books, which is always a sigh of relief. You know, when the tournament gets done on time, and then when it gets done smoothly. And I think the last thing that, if you run tournaments and you run at establishments who are letting you play there for free, this is like an all-time stress that I always feel every tournament I run is the bar making money. That if they're not making money, it doesn't make sense for us to have tournaments there.
Right.
So I like to see when I'm, walking around, players drinking, because then I'm like, all right, cool. They're making money. We're able to provide something for people to come and be stress-free. And you could ask Allie. I always ask her at the end of the night, like, how did it look tonight? Did it look better than last week? They're like, oh yeah, it's about 10% more sales than it was last week. I'm like, hell yeah, thank you.
Right.
Because a lot of these bars, breweries, they let cornhole happen free of charge. They don't charge us.
Right.
All they want is return on their investment of using their facilities. And I think that's why a lot of clubs lose venues or lose spots, because the establishments aren't making money. And that is ultimately the biggest stress, I think, not only for us, but for any club.
Right.
Like if you try to run a tournament and the establishment is not making money, then you're probably going to be there not that long.
Understandable. Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, for me, like I said, I'm not opposed to drinking. I choose not to when I play, personal reasons on that, but I'm not against it. Yeah. So, but I do try to go over there and I buy like a soda or something, or, you
and Hayden buy the root beers.
Yeah. We'll buy something, or a Sprite or a Pepsi, something in there. And then also, they have the big water jug for me. I do have to pound a lot of water. Just because I feel like I just get, with the heat and everything, I feel like I get dizzy. I feel like if I was drinking beer, it would probably mess me up big time. But everybody else, you guys are good at that. You guys can drink your beers and enjoy it, I'll drink the other stuff, but yeah, well, okay, so there's all the stress. So there you have it, people. If you guys are interested in getting a club going, know that there is some things that, entail. It's not just throwing bags. There's a lot of behind the scenes work. Making sure that, scores are inputted correctly to, there could have been also, even altercations can happen. It's generally everybody's pretty good about it. I really haven't run into anybody that's ever wanted to start something over, points or whatever. There's people that kind of jab at each other in the game, but it's competitive. And, I think at the end of the day, it's all love and fun. But there could be things where, you didn't have 10 points, and things like that. And then you got to call a director over like, hey, what do we do here, kind of thing. And, that could be kind of tough, because now you got to like diffuse the situation and try to be impartial to it, or, also try to hear the facts. And, there's some other things like that. Luckily, the honor system's really solid in cornhole. I will say that. I don't see anybody trying to cheat it. I don't see anybody, trying to hurt people's feelings or do different things like that. I don't see it. There might be other places out there, who knows, but I've traveled around the United States playing this game, and I still have yet to find a bad egg in there. We did deal with one. We won't point names out, made my mom cry. That can't happen, because we want people to have fun, and we know people are not going to have the skill, but how do you get better? You continuously play, I
haven't seen that guy. So I still plan on having the conversation with him, because I feel like sportsmanship still needs to exist. Even if you're in social, competitive, or advanced, during the game, there's I talk shit while I play. For 100% I do. But it's never going to get to the line where, it's disrespectful, or even after the game, I'm like, damn, you whooped my ass. Good job. But sportsmanship is definitely something that should be there, especially if you have a newer player on your team.
Yeah.
I don't appreciate what happened to your mom. And, it's definitely going to get, discussed, and hopefully it doesn't happen again.
It shouldn't happen again. And it's like one of those few and far between things, but
very few and far between. Yeah. That's now that you mention it, that's probably one of the only like conflicts that we've had to deal with since running a tournament.
Right. And that's just another thing for people if they are getting clubs started. Just know, if you want to keep players around, you gotta have non-toxicity. Yeah. You cannot be toxic towards other players, and be supportive of them. My brother, who's he's had bad luck of the draw with partners on his end in playoffs. But he's a good sport about it. Where he's like, I didn't think we were going to win. It's kind of tough when you look at the other competitors, and a lot of teams are kind of stacked, and, you give it your best. So it happens.
I will say right now, just a side subject, him and 50 are due. If they get paired again and they're due for a win together. Like, they've gotten paired so much in the last 2 months. It's pretty crazy.
Right. Well, 50 has gotten hot. I'll tell you what, man, 50 is dangerous. So
He's dangerous right now.
Shout out to that guy. Whatever he's doing is working, and he's on a fast track to being one of the lethal guys in the club. So, absolutely. I don't see him backtracking at all. He's gone forward, and eventually you're going to be like, yo, I don't know. Like with someone like me and Emax are going to be like, I got to go play against 50. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Because, it's like, and then I got to hope for the other side just doesn't throw heat, because I know 50 is going to do it. And, he's a dangerous player, and he's gotten a lot better. So,
he's one of those guys that are just fearless right now.
Yeah.
He's just like, he has the confidence that he's the best player on the court. And I think anyone that throws cornhole, like, that's the kind of mindset you need to have, especially if you're playing against like you or, Mace or Emax or Juice. If you're in a game with them, like, damn, I'm better than these motherfuckers. I'm gonna get you guys. And I think that's the mindset he has. And I think that's why he's doing so well right now. So shout out 50.
Yeah.
You're balling, dog.
Yeah, he's doing great. We got a last couple of questions here as we're approaching an hour.
An hour?
Yeah, we're like 55 minutes in, man. We're doing pretty solid, man. This is what a good podcast does, dude, is you're just talking and you're having a good time, man. That's really where it comes down to. Let's see. You now also deserve some love, because your bag has become a flat bag. You've been a lot more consistent down the middle. So you hit a lot of shots. You've made adjustments to your game, to your bag. What have you been doing?
Yeah. So before I was just holding the bag just like this holding it. And when someone recorded me one time, and when I would throw, the beads would sway, like they would move, but I would just swing. And then I think it was my dad. My dad said, you do a lazy bag, Junior.
It did.
That's why your bags, he said, that's why your bags go left and right. And that's why I beat you. And I'm like, yo, chill, dog. And then, so I was like, all right, I got to fix this. And I'm gonna give a super shout out, because his videos on how to throw a flat bag has helped me so much. And it's your old co-host, Gunner.
Oh yeah.
I've watched his video on how to throw a flat bag.
Right.
And it's helped me so much. And now I throw a butterfly grip. And I mean, obviously my bag is not like super consistent where I'm throwing like 12s all the time, but it's flat. It feels good. And I'm more confident on the court. So, and I told Gunnar this every time I see him. I said, bro, your video has helped me so much, and I appreciate you.
Yeah.
So shout out to Gunnar. If you guys haven't followed or don't know who he is, follow that man if you're trying to improve your game. He has so many videos on stepping, not stepping, and then he has play-by-play on his tournaments. That guy love that guy. He plays with us often as well.
And he's gotten better again. He's on the rise again, man. Oh my gosh. I'm proud of him.
He's not stepping.
Yeah.
He's not stepping anymore.
Yeah. I'm really proud of him that he stuck with it, because we've had good conversations, and he's like, I'm just kind of done. And I'm like, keep at it, bro. Find you again, because he can be lethal. He was up there, man. He was definitely up there in a spot where you're like, Gunner came to play. You guys better be on your A game. And I think he's getting that way again, because I mean, even at your the retirement party one for your dad, I mean, he took second. He balled. He threw. I was watching when he was throwing against Juice. He threw the nastiest cut. Like, Juice had it blocked up, and the only way he had it was around this way. And he's on this side of the board.
You know what I mean? So he threw the nastiest cut and it went in, and I was like, yo, this is pretty dope to see. And then Juice did the same shot.
Yeah. Well, it's Juice. Come on, it's Juice. We already know. Juice is disgusting. That guy, man, I love Juice to death, man. He's one of my favorite people to play against. He's humble.
Yeah.
He's a super nice guy. And he's a hell of a competitor. And you know that you're going to have to be on your A game to beat him. So, no, hats off to that kid, man. He's the kid. But I feel old, man. But, hats off to that guy. He's a great player.
Yeah.
But well, as we're getting closer to the end here, because we're about to wrap it up here, I wanted to ask you, you got a top 5. Well, let's do it this way. You have a favorite player in the ACL as a pro, as well as who is your top 5 list in Southern California, just players in general. And this is just solely on opinion. So, we might have some people mad in the comments and be like, well, what about this? And what about him? I would have put him here,
Yeah. I'll start with the pros. And I met this dude at Bagmania a couple years ago.
Well, give me a top 5 pro too, because there's honorable mentions in the top 5 pros as well.
I'll just go with my top 2.
Okay.
Because I want to name people and then just be totally off. But Jacob Jerzyski, I think right now is on a tear.
Yeah.
I met him a couple years ago at Bagmania, and we messaged each other on the Facebook or Instagram, back and forth. I'll send him memes. He'll send me some funny shit as well. So he's actually very interactive. So he's pretty cool. And bro, he's literally he's bowling right now. And then I'm a big fan of Jeremiah Ellis. That guy is super cool as well. I think those 2 are like definitely my top 2. I wouldn't order them of who's higher or not. I think either of those 2 could win. At Worlds. I think if those 2 are on, they could play each other probably deeper in the tournament, and then winner of that, either one will make it. And then for top 5 locals, I definitely Emax.
Absolutely.
I think Emax right now is just on fire. Definitely you. I think American Spartan is definitely on that list as well. I'd say Juice for sure. Juice is definitely one of the local guys that is definitely on a tear right now as well. Mace for sure. Mace is always, someone that is consistently, throwing a nice bag, is going in, and he's usually a top performer at local tournaments, and he plays with us often. And then Lawrence. I think Lawrence right now is, finding his game. And he's doing very well as well. And he just signed with BG as well. So I know him, Juice, and Emax all just signed with BG. And I'm pretty excited to see, what they do. Honorable mentions, though?
Well, I think that was 4, right? Was that 4? You had
Emax, Spartan, Juice, Mace, and Lawrence.
Okay, Juice, Mace, yeah, there's 5. Yeah, okay. I'm sorry.
Honorable mentions, though.
Yeah.
I have Brent Gonzalez. I think Brent Gonzalez is always a guy that could break into like being. If you get Brent Gonzalez at a local switch, you have a chance of winning.
Absolutely.
And that's how I feel. I feel like Jason Boatwright. He's another guy that, if you get him at a local switch, you have a good chance of winning as well.
Bubba.
He wins a lot. He wins a lot also. 2 more is Rico Suave.
Yeah.
Suave consistently, is just winning as well. And then the last one is, a good buddy of mine, Bubba.
Yeah, Bubba's got to be in there. He is nasty.
Yeah. Bubba's nasty. He has airmail, roll, cut, the whole 9 yards. So like essentially that's a top 10 right there.
Well, I appreciate me making it into your top 10 for having the least amount of experience out of all those shooters. So that means a lot to me. Thank you. I mean,
it's not because I'm on your podcast. That's just, if you look at numbers and you look at like local tournaments and you see people that are winning, you're constantly on a podium, which is hard to do for sure.
Right, especially at switches, because you never know. And hey, big love to my boy Raul. I tried my best. We took a 3rd. We were on a run. We lost our first game, and love to Big Al, man, and Rick Mancha, right? That's what his name is. Yeah, they played us in the first game last night in the playoffs. They ended up beating us. I kind of felt like I was like, yeah, they did. That thus ended my 20 win streak. By the way, I told Big Al, I was like, yeah,
he's the guy that played that $4,000 cash game.
Yep.
So he was one of the guys that played with that.
Yeah.
Story time. Infamous $4,000 cash game at Birdie Baggers. And Rick Mancha and Aces, are two social players, played 50 and Wally, which are two advanced players, in a $4,000 cash game. Yep. It was insane. You had to be there to see it.
I watched it. I'll say this. Raul Mancha had his number in that game. Raul was kind of trying to find it. And then, after we lost that game, we went on a spree. And we just won. And it wasn't, we didn't stop. It was like, go. And we just kept winning. Some were nail biters, especially having to hit one of the most, I swear again, you had to be there moment. If some of these were recorded, you'd be like, dude, this is a shot to be remembered. I hit one of the craziest airmail rodeo drags for 12, 3 bags. My brother watched it. Cody Ash watched it. Everybody just stood up and was like, how do you hit that? And I confident, I walked over on the timeout. Emax was telling King Pace, he was like, hey, Spartan's if he misses this bag, I'm getting 3 and you're going to win the game on the next one. I looked at Raul, I said, I'm winning the game right now. Flipped that bag on the fast side. I was like, just to be sure, hit the most stupidest rodeo. I love Emax, but he was just like, lucky, like he was just so mad about it, which I get it, because there had to have been a little bit of luck on that too with precision, but I was like, I gotta end it here, otherwise King Pace was starting to get hot, and they came back because they were down big, and they came back.
Which way were you throwing? Were you throwing towards the back of the brewery, or were you throwing towards people where they were sitting?
Towards people where they were sitting, so they all got to see the front end of that.
All saw it.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It was disgusting. It was absolutely disgusting. And I get why Emax was like lucky, like he was just mad. So love that kid. He always makes me play. He plays my heart out, So, I very much enjoy getting to throw against him all the time, as well as Mace, because they both show up to Escape every Wednesday, and they give me a heck of a game every single time. So, that I would say, before we end my top 5 for pros, I got to throw in there. You got Jeremiah Ellis, Devin Harbaugh. You got Justin Burton Jr., Mark Richards, and then I got to throw Trey Birchfield in there too. At least out of the top 5, then there's some honorable mentions like Jake Gore. Tony Smith is also dangerous. That's why I said some honorable mentions. It's hard to list a top 5. It's not in that order by any means, because at any given time in Cornhole, one of them can absolutely cook. But you got to put Trey Birchfield back in there. And the reason why is because, look at the clinic he just did in the opens. Everybody's like, oh, Trey Birchfield, he's not the same. He's not of the same. The man won like back to back. Like he was just winning opens. And Adam Hissner's also in there too. He's dangerous. Who else can throw with a beer in their hand and be that calm, cool, and collected? You know what I mean? Like,
and then yell, boom.
Yeah. And just looks like he's backyard bagging you, beer in hand and throwing bags. It's absolutely incredible. So no, there's some players in there. Jake Krasinski's another one as well too. Jake Gore, his brother Jack Gore, 2 absolute monsters. Sammy Soto's also in there, and Gavin Cano and Fisher Hamilton. Yeah, there's some. The list can go to like a top 15, top 20. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Dogs.
But anyways,
are you playing Spencer's?
Yeah. I'm gonna play Spencer's with my boy Aaron Hill. Shout out to that dude. Whoa. Amazing guy, man. Amazing guy. And he's a heck of a shooter. So we're looking to have fun and throw with each other. I know that's just a big part of it. And who knows what could happen? You know what I mean? It's windy, so bags could be in our favor in the wind. You never know. But just to get out there and have a good time with everybody and throw bags and hang out with Aaron and, and get some games in with them and stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then, of course, Bags Mania. I'll be doing that in November. And that'll be at the Planet Hollywood.
You definitely got to have some beers out there this year. What? I don't think I've ever had a beer with you.
No, we'll definitely have one. Yeah, for sure. No, we will for sure. We'll have some. I'm down for that.
Yeah, brother.
I'm down for that.
Well, I appreciate you, my man. I appreciate
absolutely.
you having me on.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. Glad that I got you on here. And that goes for anybody else. I know I'm working with TWT, getting them on here for the podcast, as well as Jefferson County Cornhole, trying to get them on. And then there's a few other names on the list that I'm going to talk to. And then if you guys are interested, put it in the comments, let me know, and we can work something out. I want to keep this going because there's a lot of cornhole talk out there. I mean, heck, we were just having a good time and we put an hour and 10 minutes into this podcast. So, other than that, like, subscribe, comment, share, let everybody know anything, everything Cornhole is here. It's a good podcast. You guys can listen to it, watch it, however you want to do it. And we will see you guys in the next one. And that will be uploaded sometime next week. But yeah, we'll see you then. Take care, everybody.
Yes.